Good morning, Barada. How are we? Are we ready for another session of balance, strength, and stability? Oh, yes. You probably aren't right now. To be honest with you, you might be thinking, what on earth am I doing? But let's warm up and then we'll feel so much better. It's always the same. We don't feel like doing it, but once we get into it, it's okay. So, what are we going to need for this session? By the way, my name's Sarah Tag. I'm live from the third floor of Tag Towers. So we're going to need for this session a nice sturdy chair. So you can see I've got my dining chair here. We are going to need a resistance band. But if you haven't got one, please don't worry because it's only at the end of the session. It helps with strength. I'm just going to change my light fitting a little bit. It helps with strength. But if you haven't got one, just do what you can without one. So most importantly, I hope you're feeling well. So anyone who's got a fever or is feeling unwell, turn me off immediately and you can use this same link to come back and we can do the session again another time. Yes, okay. So the other thing I've got is a drink. If you don't like drinking during the session, that's fine, but make sure you hydrate yourself at the end because for our muscles to become more effective, they need to be hydrated. All right then, so hoping you're ready to rumble. I'm feeling ready to rumble. Let's just have a quick recap on our working position. So here's my chair, nice and sturdy. You may indeed want something in front of you so that when you stand up out of your chair, if your balance isn't brilliant, you may want to hold on to something there. So we will be walking into the back of the chair. So just bear that in mind if you need a bit of extra support. Now, when we're sitting in our chair, just going to show you that technique for sitting down. So we're going to feel for that chair on the back of the legs. Make sure we're evenly placed. Push your bottom to the back of the chair. And there we are. So here we are. Now, sitting, we're not sitting for lunch. We're sitting for our class. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift that chair, sit nice and tall. That's it. Step one. Step two is we'll still find the chair gets in our way a little bit. So we're going to lift our sitting bones, one sitting bone at a time, and just walk forwards in this chair till we create a little bit of space between our bottom and our back and the back of the chair. And we're in about the front half of that chair. We're going to make sure those feet are hip width apart. Nice and parallel. So by parallel, sort of not the toes facing out or in and not sort of 1 foot there. So then we've got a really good strong base to our feet, legs and sitting bones. So I'll turn my chair around. You get yourself into your working position and we'll start warming up, shall we? Let's start warming up. So you can see, I'm hoping you can see everything about me. I might be a little bit small, but I'm sitting nice and tall and we're going to start should we go top down? Let's go top down. So we're going to start with the neck. And all we're going to do is drop this chin down towards the chest. Lift this chin, look straight ahead. That's it. So we're just getting a little warm up for this neck. So it always helps when you're doing a warm up to think about a direction to go. I quite often do top to bottom, but sometimes I do bottom upwards. And then we'll just look straight ahead. And then I'm going to turn my head to my left. Good. So I'm just going to look over my shoulder, come back to center. Now, when you're looking over that shoulder, keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Try not to push too far. Okay. Only awful things will happen if we push too hard. So just find that point of tension, bring it back. Just gently drop that chin to the chest again. Lift that chin. And then this time we're just going to take a little shoulder squeeze up. Relax the shoulders down. Then we're going to turn that head. We're going to look over the shoulder the other way. Good. That's it. So we're just turning to the right. So we're just gently getting some movement, warming up the muscles, warming up the joints. Okay, and then we're just going to roll these shoulders up to the ears and back down. So let's circle these shoulders up and back. Shoulders up, relax them down. Let's take 2 more of these. So we're just getting a nice bit of movement in these shoulders. And then when we come down, we're going to see if we can just do that little twisting movement. So draw that tummy button in. We're just going to take that hand to the opposite thigh. Good. And this time I'm going to take my right hand to my left thigh. So we're doing a little bit of twisting from here. Okay, so let's try that again. Now, is anyone holding their breath? I just was. I went when I finished. Good. So we're going to take one more and then we're going to see if we can bring the arms underneath that chest. Relax those shoulders. So roll those shoulders up, slide the shoulder blades down. And this time we're going to turn just from that waist alone. So keep that chin in line with your wrists. That's it. Just that little twist. So this is such a useful movement. And I think we tend to lose the ability to do it because we start to move quite stiffly or we let our hips do the work. So we're just reminding the body that there is a little bit of movement there. So again, let's just roll those shoulders. And then on the third one, let's see if we can let these hands just hang down by the side of that chair. I'm going to take my feet a little bit wider because it gives me a bit more support, and I'm going to draw my tummy button in. And then we're just going to lift that rib cage out of the hips, but don't lift those sitting bones off the chair. So it's really tempting to lift the bottom. So we're warming up this part here, but also the main thing is we don't want you to lift and then overbalance. So keep those sitting bones firmly in place and it'll just help with that lower back warm up. That's good. So this is a really nice one to do. I do this one every day. I know. When I get up, when I'm waiting for the kettle to boil, I'm a bit stiff in the mornings. Okay, bring those hands onto your thighs. Walk these feet back in. So they're hip width apart. Now, let's think about these hips, shall we? So what we're going to do is we're going to do that little walk. Remember the walk into the back of our chair. Okay, relax back, not for long, sit up tall and walk back into that front half of the chair. So let's get a little bit of movement in those hips. Just gently shuffling backwards. Good. And shuffling forwards. Brilliant. Okay, so back in that front half of the chair. And then we're going to think about just tapping that heel forwards and back. Tapping that heel forwards and back. Good. Tapping that heel forwards and then back. Good. So we're just getting a little bit of movement in that knee joint. It's still quite gentle. Okay, feeling your way. We're making these muscles move. The muscles in the backs of the legs move. And we're just warming those legs up as well as a little bit of hip warm up as well. Good. Now let's see if we can just take a little tap out and in. Good. So we're just going to tap out with these knees and in. So again, warming up these hips. Lovely. So just taking that knee out to the side, not too far. Good. We're going to do 2 more and 1. And then we're going to bring it in and we're going to think about just lifting those knees and walking on the spot. So if I show you from this angle, you can see that I'm lifting the ball of the foot off the floor, not going really high, and then placing the ball of the foot back and then down through to the heel. That's it. So we're just getting a little bit of joggling, as I like to call it. It's my version of running. And then bring it back down. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take one foot out in front of you. So I'm going to show you from this angle. We're in our front half of the chair. We're just going to take that foot out of front. Let that heel rest on the floor, and then we're just drawing that toe up to the ceiling, getting a nice little stretch in the calf muscles. We're going to bring it in, do the same on the other side. So stretch out that leg, heel resting on the floor, just drawing that toe up to the ceiling, and then we're going to bring it in. Now, I'm going to stay in this angle so you can see what I'm doing. We're just going to lift those heels off the floor and down. We're going to lift and down. Meanwhile, we're looking straight ahead. Nice relaxed shoulders, lift and down. Let's do one more, shall we? Now, I'm going to just shuffle my feet forwards a bit, and then I'm going to lift my toes off the floor. So heels are down, okay, and we're just pulling up, pulling the balls of the feet off the floor. Imagine there was some sticky liquid sort of like rolling towards you, and you just want to lift your toes so it can roll underneath you, and it's not going to roll over the top of your shoes. That's it. One more, and then release. And then we'll bring those feet back underneath those knees, and we'll just move those legs a little bit. Good. So I went from top to bottom, but I sort of forgot about the arms on the way. So let's settle those feet, find a nice comfortable position. Let's think about drawing some circles with this elbow now. Good, drawing some circles. So my circles on this side are going to be a little bit gentle because I've had my arm jabbed. Yay! So only the first one, but it's a little bit sore. So I'm just going to go easy on that side, okay? And then we're going to change sides. So we can still do the movement, but we might have to temper it sometimes, depending on what's going on. You might have some recent injury, you might have a long-standing injury. So we just have to look after ourselves. That's it. Now, let's see if we can just bring those arms up to shoulder level. I'll show you from this angle and back down. Good. Just up to shoulder level and back down. Good. Up to shoulder level and back down. Good. Now this time we're going to turn the palms to face you and we're just going to let the arms swing. Just let them swing. It's a really nice way of reducing tension in those shoulders, isn't it? Yeah, you can feel it. Good. Now, letting those arms swing, and then we're going to make a fist, okay? Squeeze those hands. Just be careful if you've got long nails. I had to cut mine in anticipation of this session. And then we're going to open out those fingertips, really stretch. So we're going to squeeze and we're going to open. Good. Now, this is a really nice movement to stimulate the flow of lymph, so your lymphatic system in your upper body, in your arms, in your hands. Good. So we're squeezing and then opening. Good. Squeeze. Now this time we're going to push forwards, really stretch into those fingertips, push into the palms and back. Good. Squeeze and push. Good. Squeeze and push. Brilliant. Squeeze and push, and then bring it in and just let those arms go again. Just let them swing. Quite a challenging little warm up there, but really good for the muscles in the hands, the joints in the hands and the arms. Good. So we're going to do one more little warm up for these shoulders. So imagine we're stood against the wall and your nose is touching the wall, and we're just going to slide one hand up the wall. And be aware of your shoulder blades when you're sliding your hand up the wall. So don't let that shoulder blade sort of go too far too soon. Slide that shoulder blade down as the elbow comes down. Good. So only as far as you feel comfortable, okay? And it could be that this is your limit. That's okay. It's finding your range. Now relax there. Roll those shoulders. What we're going to do now is we're going to see if we can bring the hands to the back of that chair. See if you can hold them to the back of the chair. Doesn't matter if you can't, but the main aim is for us to just get a nice stretch across the chest and the front of those shoulders. So see if you can do that. Breathe out and then release. We're going to take those shoulder rolls again. And then we're going to see if we can bring one hand onto the opposite shoulder and we're going to hug that arm across the body. So this is a nice stretch for the back of the shoulders. Then we're going to release and we're going to do the same on the other side. So we're going to take hands to the opposite shoulder, draw that arm across the body. Brilliant. That's so good, guys. Good stuff. Okay, and we're going to release. Now, lastly, I'm going to just see if we can walk same hand over same shoulder, reach over that shoulder, see if you can give yourself a nice little pat on the back, even the back of the neck, not too hard, and release. And again, try not to hold your breath as we're doing this. So we're going to walk that hand over that shoulder, reach just as far as your point of tension and release. Okay, shake those hands out. Let's see if we can just shake these feet out a little bit. But if that doesn't work, I'm just going to circle my big toe one way. And I'm going to circle my big toe another way. So I'm going to do 4 times each way. I can feel my ankle clicking. Same on the other leg. So circle 4 times one way. Good. And 4 times the other way. Lovely. Okay. Right then, my friends. Now, you may want to have a little drink. You may want to sit back in that chair just for a moment and go, whew, that was a nice warm up. So we're going to think about standing up pretty soon. So before we do that, I'm going to angle my chair so we can see what I'm doing. I'm going to come back into my working position and we're going to practice that coming out of our chair. So feet hip width apart, heels underneath the knees. If you need to use some support, either the front of this chair and just gently pushing from there, not that, okay? Really try and avoid doing that. It causes a negative reaction. So it makes it doubly hard for you to get up. We can push onto those thighs, or we can push those arms forwards, okay? But if you're feeling strong, you may just need your legs and that's it. So heels are down. And what we're going to do is we're going to practice our mini hovers. So we're basically lifting your bottom off the chair, controlling it back down. So let's make sure we breathe out and breathe in. Good. Good. You don't have to breathe out sort of as you do it, but just make sure you're not holding that breath. Let's do 2 more. Brilliant. Let's really warm up these muscles. Super. And then you might just want to move those feet a little bit. You can really feel those muscles activating, can't you? So if you're struggling with that and you're thinking, oh, I can't do it, I can't get my bottom off the chair, please don't stop trying. Because by trying, if you feel the thighs, you'll actually feel them contracting and trying to work. And the more we ask of them, the stronger our muscles will get. So it will come if we keep persevering. All right then, so without much further ado, we're going to stand up. Now you can watch me do it first if you like. If you've been doing this for a while, then do it with me. If you've never seen this before, I want you to watch and then do it when I get you to. So we're just going to think about making sure everything's in place, feet underneath the knees. We're going to say 3, 2, 1. Push those feet into the floor, stand. And as soon as we've got that standing position, we're going to move the feet. Now, why do we move the feet? That's right, Norma. That's right. It's to stop us feeling dizzy. It's to help the calf muscles pump the blood back up to the head and heart. So we're going to take as many steps as we feel comfortable. So make sure we turn in the feet before we turn the upper body. Quite often we get falls happening because the feet are static. We do that and we lose balance. So feet first, okay? Many steps as you feel comfortable to the back of your chair. Now, once you get to the back of that chair, we'll walk on the spot. And if you haven't seen this session before, you get up, do as many steps as you feel comfortable and come to the back of your chair too. I'm just going to move my chair so you can see what I'm doing. So we're just walking on the spot and I've got my imaginary chair there. Okay, so we're just going to steady those feet for a moment and we're going to think about just starting to do a little bit of movement to make our breathing rate a little bit faster. So this is called aerobic movement. So we're going to start with some little taps. So we can hold onto that chair. We're going to tap out and in. We're going to tap out and in. We're going to tap and in and tap and in. Now, if you felt like letting go with one hand, you can, or even 2 hands, you can, but make sure you feel safe. So I'm going to hold on with one hand. I'm going to tap and in, tap and in, tap and in, and tap and in. Good. 5 and 4 and 3. Good. 2 and 1. Brilliant. Now, just keep those feet gently moving for me. If you feel comfortable, we can add some arm movement with those taps. So we could add 1 bicep curl if we're holding on. We could add 2 bicep curls if we're not holding on. If you're holding on with both hands, don't try and do the bicep curls. Stick with the legs. So are we ready? We're going to go tap and curl. Good. Tap and curl. Tap and curl and tap and curl. Good. Tap and curl. Tap and curl. We're going to do 4 more and 3 and 2 and 1. Brilliant. We're just going to walk it out. Roll those shoulders. If you're feeling a little bit tense, just see how your breathing is, and that's good. Okay, so our next thing we're going to do is some side steps. So we're just going to see if we can step with the outside of our foot, bring this foot across. It's not a big step. We're just into getting a small step. Good. So I'm just showing you what it looks like. Shall we do it all together? 3, 2, 1. We're going to step together, step together. Good. Step together and step together. Step together and step together. Last 2. Good. Last 1. Brilliant. And like we did before, this time we're going to take that little pedal. We're just going to lift one heel at a time. You can hold onto that chair just to get a bit of recovery. So we can add our movement with this side step if you feel coordinated and if you feel comfortable. So we can add a chest press. Okay, I'll show you from this angle like that. So we'll be taking that step and pushing away from us. We can do it with one arm as well, or we can just hold on. So I'm going to do it with one arm. 3, 2, 1. We're going to step together, step together. Good. Step together and step together. Step across, step across, step across and step. Last one, and just pedal it out. Just roll those shoulders. Good. You can see I changed what I said. So instead of step together, I said step across. Because when I say together, I remembered it encourages people to sort of bang their feet. So try and make sure you don't touch the first foot when you bring the second foot across. All right then, so should we put those 2 movements together? We're going to do 10 of each, okay? So we've got our chair, one hand, no hands or both hands, and we're going to start with the taps. 3, 2, 1. We're going to tap and in and tap and in. Good. Tap and in and tap and in. Tap and in and tap and in. Good. In and tap. 2 more, my friends. 2 and 1. Good. So you've got that chair there. Just move the feet. Make sure you've got space for those side steps. 3, 2, 1. We're going to step together, step together. Good. Step together, step together. Step together and step together. I've lost count. Let's just keep stepping, shall we? Okay, we're going to go 2 and 1. Brilliant. Now, just see if we can walk those feet just a touch wider. Make sure those knees are bending in line with that second toe. So if we've got that chair, we don't want them too far away from the chair. Otherwise, you'll be leaning like that. So we want the feet not too far away from the chair. And we're just going to see if we can soften the knees, and we're going to take our weight into that right foot. Take your weight into this left foot. Now we're going to come into that wide base sway. So if I show you from this angle, you can see as I take my foot one side, the opposite heel comes away from the floor if you want to take it that far. All right, keep that head over that breastbone. Let's do it. So we're going to go to your right, to your left. Good. To your right. So we've got that chair if you need it. Now, if you want to let go with one arm, let's bring some arm movement in. Good. So we're sweeping these arms. Just be careful of any furniture, any person who's exercising next to you. I'm thinking you, Norma and Sandra. So we're just going to sweep And I've got to be careful here because I've got that low ceiling. So I'm just being aware of what's around me. Good. We're going to go 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Lovely. Bring it down. Bring those feet back to a comfortable position apart. And just roll those shoulders. So a little bit of stamina building there. On to balance, okay? So we're going to start with dynamic balance. So balance on the move, just so we're not stopping suddenly. We're going to see if we can hold onto this chair, and we're going to see if we can take a step behind us. Now, you can't see my feet so well there. I need my yellow trainers, don't I? So what we're going to do is take a step behind us. I'm going to show you from this angle. So when you step behind, the toe gently turns away from center and the heel, you can't see me there, look, toe turns away from center. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take some steps behind us. So you're placing the ball of the foot down through to the heel, taking the weight into that back foot and then pushing back. It feels a bit odd. So we're going to step behind. So just imagine, why would we use this? We're going to step again. So just imagine you're somewhere and you just stumble backwards. So this is going to give you that knowledge, that sort of ability to right yourself. So they talk about brain muscle pathways, and we just need to do something a few times for it to become a learned behavior. Okay. And if we haven't done it for a while, you know, it means that we might sort of almost forget. We might sort of lose those pathways. So we're just stepping back, testing your balance, taking the weight from one foot into the other, but really having to sense what's going on. Okay, we're going to step, good, and bring it in, lovely. Now just move those feet, relax those arms a little bit. So this time, we're going to see if we can go into those side steps, but we're going to make it more about balance than you're getting slightly out of breath. So we're going to take that step. Remember, you've got that chair there. Bring this foot across, and then we're going to take that step, bring this foot across. Now, we're slowing it down slightly. So imagine you're now in my kitchen, which is being redone. It's like a war zone. So to get to the sink, I've now got to step over a little pile of sort of rubble, okay? And I'm going to bring that foot across. So we're all in my kitchen, and this time we're going to step to your left, over the pile of rubble, and bring this foot across. Good. Now, one of the things I remembered is that my mother-in-law's front door has got quite a lip that you've got to step over. So we're going to practice doing it sideways. So this time we're at my mother-in-law's front door. We're going to step over that doorstep, bring this foot across. We're going to step, good. Bring this foot across. The slower you do it, the more challenging it is. But of course, as we start to feel less confident, we think it's down to us. So it's challenging. Let's do 2 more. Step in once this way, lift that foot across. You've got to really draw that tummy button in to get these core muscles to help stabilize your trunk. And then we'll just move the feet. Now, let's imagine we're stepping over that front door step and that lip. It's about that high. Okay, so we're stepping. So we've got this chair here for balance, and we're just going to step, bring this foot over. Now, you might find the chair is getting in your way, so you might want to turn and face a different way, holding on with one hand. If you need 2 hands, just make your steps a bit smaller. And what we're going to do is we're just going to step over that step, bring this foot over. Okay, and then shuffle backwards. Lovely. So leading with the other foot, we're going to step over that ridge and bring the other foot. Shuffle backwards. Good. We're going to step over. Brilliant. Bring this foot. Try and keep that nice strong trunk. Shuffle backwards. Use both hands for balance if you need it now. We're going to step over and over. Brilliant. And bring yourself back behind your chair. So we've got our chairs in front of us. The only problem with me having the chair here is you can't see me. So we're going to use my imaginary chair. Good work. Good work. Let's do another bit of balance. So we're going to imagine that you've just stumbled again, and you're going to use this leg to right you. So someone's pushed you from this direction. They've pushed you sideways, and you're going to step out, bend that knee, heel is down, the knee bends in line with that big toe. You're going to push yourself back up. So you've got that chair. We can start with that movement really small. We can gradually build it. So step, good, and push back up. We're going to step, take your weight into this leg, right yourself, bring yourself back to that start position. Good. That is brilliant, guys. Whatever we do, we must protect the knee. So we're just going to make sure that knee bends in line with that big toe. Bring it back. Let's do one more this way, okay? Step, and then we're going to right ourselves and just take a little walk on the spot behind your chair. Relax those arms. Whew, breathe. Let's do the same on this side. So let's take that step. Just check that that knee's bending in line with that toe. And then we're going to push back. And you can challenge yourself by making the steps a bit bigger if you like, or just keep them nice and small. Use that chair if you need it, but really make sure we're getting the weight into this leg and pushing back. Good. Sinking down into this left leg, pushing back. Good. Let's do one more, okay? One more. Bring it back up and just walk on the spot. Lovely, guys. Lovely. Okay. Bring yourself to your chair, which is in front of you here. I'm just bringing my chair closer. I'm just going to get us to lift these heels off the floor. Okay, lift the heels and see if you can hold it there. See if we can take one hand away, but not if you're wobbling. So make sure you're not wobbling. One hand away, good. And then slowly back down. Now with those feet quite close to the chair, let's take that nice stretch for the calf muscles. So we're using that chair to feel that stretch. That heel is behind the big toe. And then we're going to lift, bring it in. I am just, before you change sides, just going to see if this helps the light on our feet. I think I just need brighter shoes, actually. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. That's good. That's excellent. Good work. Now, we've done that lovely calf stretch. So what we're going to practice now, we're going to see if we can stand on one leg. So I'm holding onto my chair. I'm going to soften those knees a little bit. And we're going to see if we can lift one foot off the floor. Now, imagine I put a spirit level over your hip bones and we're trying to keep that red dot in the middle. So we're just going to lift that foot. We're going to count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, I've gone 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you can see what I did. I lost my balance. I've got a bright light shining in my eye. No, don't let me make excuses. So all I did was from that position, I just steadied myself with my toe. My hands weren't doing it all on its own. So I steadied myself and then went back. So walk those feet out. Let's see if we can do the same on the other side, shall we? Let's see if we can do the same on the other side. So soft knees. We're just going to see if we can just keep that spirit level across the hip bones, red dot in the middle, lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew, that was hard going. All right then. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is if you could take a nice step to your left so that one foot is free of that chair. You can hold onto the chair with both hands. I'm then going to show you from this angle. So I'm basically behind my chair, but slightly to the left of it. I'm going to lift my foot off the floor and I'm just going to brush the carpet. Good. So if you feel you can do this with one hand free, that's fine. But if you need both, keep both there. Good. And you can see my trunk isn't moving at all. This is our flamingo swing. We're just brushing the carpet, testing our balance. Bring it back and down. We're going to come back behind that chair. And this time we're going to take a little shuffle to your right. And you can see that leg is free there. So I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. And again, standing nice and tall. Let's see if we can lift this foot off the floor and just gently brush the carpet. Brush the carpet. Good. That's brilliant, guys. We're going to do 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down gently, and we'll just move those feet a little bit. Ooh, roll those shoulders up and back. Okay, we have done rather a lot. So I'm going to bring us onto the strength section. I'm going to turn my chair so it's facing you. If you need this chair supported against a wall for our sit to stand, I want you to make sure you've got some support there. We don't want the chair toppling. We're going to bring ourselves as many steps as we feel comfortable to the front of that chair. Take those feet hip width apart and make sure you're evenly placed. And we're going to see if we can go down as far as we can, but feel in control. So as soon as you think, oh, that's my point, you're going to push those heels into the floor and stand back up. I'm going to show you from a different angle. Okay, so as many steps as I feel comfortable, feet hip width apart. I'm pushing my bottom to the back of the chair, pushing back up. So you don't have to touch your chair on the seat. If you can, and you're comfortable and safe, that's fine. But we want to strengthen your legs. So push into those heels. Good. We're going to do 8 more, my friends. Okay. So we're coming down and pushing into those heels. Good. Down and pushing into those heels. If you want to make it more challenging, you can take the arms here. Good. So this is going to help us get in and out of chairs, in and out of cars. It's going to support our joints. Brilliant. So we got 3. Keep that chest lifted. 2. Last one. We're going to hold it there and then make sure you're safe. Slowly lower down. Whoo. Whoo. Have a little rest there a minute. You might want to just wiggle those toes. That was great work. Quality stand to sits there, my friends. Quality squats. So really getting these thighs strong, getting the gluteus maximus strong. Now, I'm going to turn my chair so I can face you. If you would like a sip of your drink, please have one now. Please have one now. Well, I don't mind if I do. I will have one. How are you feeling? Right, we're on a roll. So we're going to come back into our working position. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, take one little shuffle, one sitting bone movement at a time till we feel comfortable. Now I am going to move my chair into that angle because I find you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing. I'm going to get my resistance band. And I think what we can do for starters is do some upper body work. Give the legs a little bit of a rest. Let them recover before we do some more leg strength. So we'll start with that upper back strength. We're going to scoop the band up over the palms of your hands. We're going to sit nice and tall, palms facing the ceiling. And we're going to draw the shoulders away from the ears. We're just going to draw a little bit of tension with that band. Squeeze the elbows behind us. Make sure there's no daylight between your elbows and your trunk. Okay, so keep those elbows in. So we're going to go for 10, okay? When you're ready, good. Squeeze, draw those shoulder blades together and release. Good. Breathe out and release. Good. Just keep those shoulders away from the ears. Try and relax the shoulders. Breathe out and breathe in. I found it really helps to push the breath out on the hardest bit of the move. Draw, really open out that chest. That's good. Can we do 2 more? Don't worry if you can't, just relax. Roll those shoulders if you need to stop. And we're going to release. Oh, good work, friends. So why were we doing that exercise? To help stop this happening. So it helps combat that sort of round-shoulderedness that we get from driving and writing and typing, particularly if the kids today on their phones like this all the time, aren't they? So that's a really good exercise. What we're going to do then is we're going to see if we can do a little bit of strength for the arms. So we're going to start with a really, what we call a compound exercise, like a press up. So you've done this with me before. Nice flat wrist. We're going to take the band over the flat of the hand, and then we're just going to push away from center, control it back. So nice shoulders relaxed, chest open, push, breathe out and back. So this is working your shoulder strength, chest strength, and the back of the arms. Breathe out again, breathe in. Try not to hold that breath. And again, good. Control that movement back to center. It's going to help us improve our strength. Good. Pushing away from the chest. Last 2. Good. Have we got one more? Good. Okay. So just roll those shoulders. Have a little relax in your chair. That movement really important, and particularly important to this session, because I'm going to show you after we finished our cool down how we get off the floor if we find ourselves on the floor, and that being able to push yourself up to a sitting position, same muscles you use doing that, really vital. So if there's 2 exercises that you don't mind doing as the week goes on, if you wanted to practice them once or twice before your next session with me, it's that one and that sit to stand or stand to sit. Okay, a little bit more arm strength. Don't mind if I do. We are going to take one end of the band and we're going to drape the other end on the floor and put your feet on it. So you're securing the band. And we're going to do a little bit of back of the arm strength. So we're going to slide the palm facing the thigh down the band. So your fingers are pointing down and we're just going to hold it there. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall, look straight ahead, leading with that little finger. We're just going to pull that arm behind you. So from the shoulder, straight arm, squeeze and back. Good. So we're just going to squeeze. So this is strengthening the tricep muscles. So these are the muscles you use to push yourself out of chairs or low sofas. So this is a really useful one to do. Good. For those of you who still have a bath, they're the muscles we use to get ourselves out of the bath. Lovely. So we're going to do 3 more. Breathing out. And 2 more. And 1 more. Squeeze. Draw that arm behind you, slowly back. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to take the feet out of the band and we're going to change sides. So while you're changing sides, I'm actually going to turn my chair around so you can see me from the other angle. So again, this time, feet on the band, sitting nice and tall in that working position, sliding the hand down the band. You may have to bring it back up if it's too tough. And then squeezing that arm behind you, looking straight ahead, breathing out, breathing in. Good. That's lovely. Don't forget to breathe out. Try not to lift that shoulder up to the ear. So keep that shoulder nice and relaxed. And we're just going to take 2 more. 1 more. And release. Ooh, lots of upper body strength. Brilliant. Okay. So what we're going to try and do next is some back work. So lower back. And if we've got time, we'll do an extra bit of leg strength. So in that working position, we're going to just drop that band down to the floor. So we're going to hold either end of the band, drop that band down, place both feet in the band. Now, remember this one. We're going to draw that tummy button in, lift that chest over the thighs, and then just walk the hands down that band. Now, all we're going to do, sit up nice and tall, lift the chest. So imagine you've got little lights, headlights on your front of your shoulders. The lights are shining on your feet. So we're going to lift your chest so the light shines straight ahead. And we're working your lower back muscles. Good. So as we straighten up, these muscles are contracting. Good. So this is a great exercise to help you stand, to help you walk nice and tall, to stop that back aching. Good. And again, good. Keep drawing that tummy button in. As we do this exercise, imagine you've got this really tight pair of trousers on. Push your feet down into the floor. Great stuff. Let's take one more. Sit up nice and tall. Then with control, just loosen off that band. And we're going to take one foot out of the band and leave one foot in. So that other foot, we're again going to walk the hands down that band, sit up nice and tall, lift that foot off the floor, and we're going to push away. So we're going to straighten out that leg, make sure that knee's bending over that second toe, and we're going to do some more leg strength. Good. So we're just bending and straightening. Excellent. Bending and straightening. Really straightening without locking. Nice tall trunk. We're going to do two more. Good work. One more. Breathing out, breathing in. Relax that foot down. Relax your grip on the band. Take one foot out, and then we'll take the other foot in. Good. Okay, well done, guys. We've had a really good session today. I've enjoyed this immensely. So, preparing us for maybe one day being able to see each other face to face. So let's lift that foot up, secure those hands, and again, push. And make sure that knee bends over that toe. Try not to let that knee go out of line. I'm very clicky today. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm blaming it on, I don't know. I'm just clicky. Good. Okay, straighten out and relax. Good. Straighten out. So we're again using those thigh muscles. This is the sort of movement that's going to help you get up and down steps, in and out of cars. Good. We're going to do two more, okay? Two more. Breathing out. And one more. And we're going to release. And I think that is quite enough for today. All right then, roll these shoulders. I'm going to turn and face you a little bit more. Let's just take some taps out with these feet. I'll move my chair a bit because I'm tapping into the ether rather than tapping where you can see it. Just tap it out. Tap it out. Good. Because we'll just get some nice blood flow. And we've used these legs a lot. And we're just going to make sure they're not too stiff. So we'll stretch them out. That's good. All right. And then the same here. We're going to take one arm and we're going to do some elbow circles. Did we do this at the start? I think we did, but we may not have done. And then we'll do the same on this side. Good. That's great. Just nice little elbow circles. Brilliant. And then we'll just take that nice little stretch into those fingers. Bring those hands in. And then we're just going to take that nice little pump action with the hands, making a fist, opening those fingers. Good. All right. Now, let's see if we can bring those hands to the back of this chair. Look straight ahead. Relax the shoulders away from your ears and just feel that nice stretch across your chest. And then we're just going to release. You're going to look towards your thighs. Bring these hands in front of you, draw that tummy button in and get a nice stretch with that back. And breathe out, release. Good. Let's take one foot in front of you. Let's draw that toe up towards the ceiling, sitting nice and tall. We're going to hinge at the hips, feel that nice stretch down the back of that straight leg. So really, really just breathing out, relaxing as much as possible into that stretch. Good. And then bringing it up, bringing it in, just moving those feet a little bit. Let's do the same on the other side. So heel down, drawing that toe towards the ceiling, lifting that chest towards the straight leg, breathing out. Wonderful. Feeling that stretch. You'll notice it just suddenly feels a little bit easier. After a few seconds, you might want to take it further. You might just want to hold it there and then come up. Good. And then we're just going to move those feet again. Great stuff. Okay. So we are going to see if we can walk one hand over that same shoulder. This time, we're just going to see if we can gently push that elbow to the ceiling or towards the ceiling. We're going to breathe out and we're going to release. Just take a little shake. We're going to do the same on this side. Okay, so we're walking that hand over the shoulder, gently supporting that stretch, gently pushing that elbow towards the ceiling, breathing out. And we're going to release. And again, roll those shoulders. So let's see if we can walk these feet out a little bit wider. And this time we're going to see if we can reach up to the ceiling. You might want to use this hand to hold onto the side of the chair. And we're just keeping both sitting bones on the chair, but just reaching over and breathing out and bringing it back. Let's do the same on this side. So I'm holding onto my chair, feeling that really nice stretch in my trunk, bringing it back and down. And then I'm just going to walk these feet back in, heels and toes again. When you feel ready, we're going to take one sitting bone at a time, walk back into that chair and relax. Okay. I'm going to give you one more little nugget of information before we finish. You can just relax and watch. If you know what I'm doing and you've seen it before and you know what you're doing, by all means, go and make yourself a cup of tea. But I just wanted to quickly demonstrate how we might get up off the floor if we find ourselves down there unexpectedly. So this is just a nice little tip. Remember it and just store it up just in case. Okay, so if I was going to be bringing myself down onto the floor, I'm just going to see if I can. Okay, so here I am. Can you see me? Here I am. All right, I'm down, and I'm wondering what on earth happened then, because I'm not quite sure what happened, but I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to relax, check that everything's okay. Yep, I think I'm okay. I'm going to see if I can get myself up. So the first thing we need to do is use this upper body strength. So I'm going to bring my arms in and I'm going to see if I can push myself up to that seated position. So I'm sort of resting on one hip. So that's where that chest press comes in. I'm pushing myself up. And I'm going to take a few moments. I can see there's a chair there that I can use to help me. So when I feel ready, I'm going to bring myself onto my hands and knees. And I'm going to crawl towards this chair. And I'm going to take one hand and the other hand. So it's all that upper body strength we've been using. Now, once I'm there, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to think about which leg is the strongest leg. So I'm going to say my left leg is stronger. So I'm going to just bring my left leg up here. Okay. I'm going to tuck the toe under of my right foot. So that's going to help drive me up. When I'm ready, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, push up and walk my hands back up my thigh. And then I know that I can use this chair, so I'm going to feel for that chair on the back of my legs. I'm going to sit down. Whew. Okay, so that is a technique that's known as, I think, backward chaining, but we can adapt it. And if you're not sure, if you'd like to think about ways of adapting it, please get in touch with me. I'd be delighted to hear from you or discuss with you. Otherwise, well done today. You did a great job, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So have a lovely day. Enjoy the sunshine and the warmth. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.